Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. Today, after yesterday's epic pump, we're going to talk about what coins will be next to pump. And so we're going to check that out in just a moment and look at some charts and give some entries there. But before we do that, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people, as does your wonderful comments. I appreciate that. It does help support the channel. And of course, those who leave questions in the comment section, I do get back to those as soon as I'm able to. However, if you'd like more immediate engagement or interaction with me, you can find me in the Discords, which are below in the description of this video. You can click the more button. That's going to pop out. The Tribal Trades Discord is currently closed, so you can't sign up for that. However, you can get on the wait list for that by sending an email. We'll be opening that up again sometime this year. And of course, the Stocks with Josh Discord, I'm in there with my own Crown Traders channel, where I share education, insights, resources, some of my trade setups, and of course, entertainment, because this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? Okay, so let's jump into the show now. As Wayne Gretzky would famously say, he didn't want to go where the puck was. He would want to go where the puck is going to. And so we already know that out of the reserve, this was sent out, that's XRP, Solano, and Cardano are three of them, and then later came out and said yes. Later, an hour later, you can see, and obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum as other valuable cryptocurrencies. So which one are going to be the others is what we want to think about. So let's look at XRP, Solana, and Cardano. Why were they picked along with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and what could be the next cryptos that are added to this list or announced sometime between now or on March the 7th. Well, first of all, what do these things have in common? Well, first of all, made in the USA. They are the top three by market cap made in the USA. So that's giving us a little bit of a clue. And if we look also at this here about the token landscape, we do have all these made in the USA here. I don't know why Tau is out here. I do believe that is made in the USA. Someone in a Discord shared how that was some information on that. So that probably should be in there as well. So we could look at these tokens there, and will any be picked from outside, like Aave, for example, or TRX are World Liberty Financial tokens, but they're not necessarily made in the USA. I'm going to stick with the made in the USA narrative because I do feel that this current administration will want to encourage crypto innovation in the United States of America, and will want to bring back crypto innovation that might have been forced offshore, by some of the situations that we had here in the USA, where the previous crypto administration was not as crypto friendly, and now bring it back to the USA and say, hey, you're going to get some kind of benefit from this. So let's look at some of those coins that we next. Based off this, the next one off the list would be HBAR. And whether or not I agree with this or not, let's just talk about some of these tokens. And we've got Chainlink, Stellar, Avalanche, Sui, and then we get into Litecoin and Uniswap, etc., and Ondo down there at 37th place. I'm not clear if all of these are going to be added. I would assume not, but at some point they've got to draw a line and say, okay, these are ones going to add it, and some are going to miss out, unless they just include all made in the USA there. But then you've got a lot of meme coins that are made in the USA. So let's look at a couple of these charts. Let's look at Sui and think about the Sui chart here, about where might be some good entries for Sui. And of course, we've got the 200-day MA sitting at about $2.88. So that there would be, obviously, if we lose that level, we could capitulate further. We've got the 50 EMA on the weekly. We'd have to move that up now because that has moved. So we'll move that up, 50 EMA on the weekly time frame at $2.49. That would be, and that we've almost come down to get that. So the 200-day MA is there at $2.88. Obviously, we may hold the line here at $3. There is a possibility that we could get up and get above that. So we're kind of below that at the moment. There's $2.90 Fibonacci and a $3 Fibonacci. We're below that at the moment. So entries could happen at $2.88 or the $2.90 level, or of course a break above $3. But really, I want to see the 200 EMA on the daily time frame. Let's just check that that level hasn't moved. No, it's about the same there at about $3.04. And you can see there's quite a gap there. So we kind of this has been quite a good area to trade here, jumping in around this $2.82. And then riding this up either to the $2.88, $2.90, or of course the $3 level. And we saw this huge pump up above here where we got above the 20 EMA on the daily. Where's the 20 EMA on the weekly, by the way, there? We'd want to find that. And that's up at $3.42. So there would be some resistance there, of course. Sorry, that's at $3.29. That's the 9 EMA. So that would be an area there that we just want to keep an eye out there. The 20 EMA on the weekly is currently at $3.29, and we didn't even get up to test that yet. So those would be a couple of entries for SUI that I'd be looking out for there. And of course, the deeper entries there are going to be the $2.48. That's a real bargain area. If we go lower than that, obviously the 50-week moving average, this is usually for bear market. We don't want to lose this here, but you can see this is a real big value zone. If you get down to here, there'll be a lot of fear that would come into the market there, and we would call that the 50-week moving average, just to make sure we know what that one is. It's not a Fibonacci line there at all, but you can see there would be this would be a little bit of a buy zone there. We just didn't even get down to it. We wicked down in this area. We can see there was some support over here. So I'm not sure if we'll even get down to here. Bitcoin didn't get down to here. Bitcoin kind of came down to this area. SUI is kind of quite strong, and it kind of has similar pattern to Bitcoin at the moment. So those would be the areas that I would look at. The other one, of course, is Ondo. Ondo is one that I think could be added. So I think SUI 1, Ondo 2 could be added to this. And again, for Ondo, if you look, it's 50, the 50-week moving average. Let's just move that up a touch there. That's at about $1.02. And really, this seems to be a very, very good area so far to go. The 50 EMA on the weekly is quite close there at $1. So between that $1 and that $1.02, and then you got the 200-day moving average at $1.06. So this area here between 99 cents and $1.06 seems to be a great value zone. If you bought in there, there's been nice moves to the upside every time it's come down. Of course, the 200 EMA on the daily for Ondo is sitting around about $1.14 there. So that would be an area we want to break above. And of course, the 50-day moving average is the real crucial one to say, hey, bull market is back in full swing on that one, okay? And then let's look at some of the other ones from the list. We talked about SUI, we talked about Ondo. They would be two that I feel would be in the mix for that. But then also, what do we have next on the list? If they just add down the list, which I feel like they could, then these next four, HBAR, Chainlink, Stellar, and Avalanche, could be ones that are added to it. And I mean, where do they stop? Where do they draw the line? We've got Near and Aptos and Ondo, and then you've got Trump coin. Could that ended up being added? I mean, that would be something else. And then you got Algorand and Filecoin and Render. So where do you draw the line of what to include and what not to include? They've kind of already said, hey, these are three going in, and if they add more, these would be the obvious four here that could be added. So let's look at the HBAR technicals there. And on the daily time frame, what do we got at the moment? The price is around 24 cents, but the 50 EMA on the daily time frame is right bang on there. So there's kind of an entry there. And I'm not going to lie, the chart for HBAR looks fairly bullish. It's right squeeze. Look how that squeezed like a little pimple. You could pop it to the upside there. Would be a nice move. But this here is sitting on the 9 EMA on the weekly. And you can see a lot of these bear market support lines are quite far away from price. It was held up beautifully on the 20 EMA on the weekly time frame. That would be the next entry. If there was any more downside and we would lose this 24 cent level, then the next area would be around 21, 22 cents there for for that. If we go back to the daily, where is the 200 EMA on the daily? That's one I always look for. That's sitting at 19 cents, and then the 200-day moving average at 16. So there are some levels there for H-bar if we were to see some things drop off there. And then after H-bar, we have Chainlink. And so let's have a look at Chainlink. I don't think I have the link. Let's bring the link chart up there and see Chainlink. There we go, Chainlink chart here. So Chainlink not as bullish, surprisingly, as H-bar. And so, of course, we're below the 200 EMA on the daily. And it did go below. And this is the 200 weekly moving average. This is where the price is in a bear market. So Chainlink technically went into a bear market, and the bull market support, man, they're so close together. This is how bearish it's been for Chainlink. And so very, very tough. But if we look at the current price at $16, really the 200-day moving average, which is $16.59, and the price is $16.31. So we want to see that kind of break above, but then you got resistance at the 20 EMA. There's a lot of tough levels ahead for Link, but I think it would absolutely melt through that if it was announced. As you can see, it's just been on a consistent downtrend here. Again, the 50 EMA and the 200-day moving average right around $16.50. So a break above that level, I think, then could bring it up to around the $18 level. There'd be a bit of support there. But so we're quite close to an area where for accumulator buying has historically been quite good. For Chainlink, we're going to jump into the next one, which is XLM. I'm going to go back to our legacy tokens there, XLM. And of course, this again, like H-bar, is looking a little bit more bullish. It's held up. So it's at 32 cents right now. And really, that's the entry, the 20 EMA on the weekly. This could end up being a nice kind of bull pennant flag here. And of course, we do want to get above the 50-day moving average at 36. If we were to see any further price decline, that 25-cent level, the 200-day moving average, have been absolutely fantastic. Let's go on the daily time frame. And wow, you can see the 200 EMA on the daily. What a boss of an indicator at 28 cents. So those would be the level that I would be looking at for XLM. Of course, the 20 EMA on the daily is at 32 cents. So there's some interesting support levels there for XLM. And let's just do one more there, and we've got Avalanche, and we'll stop there just for the sake of time today. But we certainly could find that more coins go in there. It's just really how are they deciding on this, and how much are they adding of each there to it. Let me know what you think. I want to know your top 3 coins that you think will be added after XRP, Cardano, and Solana. I also want to know number 1, that's number 1, and I want to know number 2 if you think it should have only been a Bitcoin reserve. So that's what I want to know first and foremost. Is do you think it should have just been a Bitcoin reserve, or do you think they've done it's better at being Bitcoin plus those other 4 tokens plus other tokens as a strategic reserve? Not sure how well it's going to look in a bear market when most altcoins drop below 90%, but maybe if these ones that are in the strategic reserve don't, I'm not sure. Maybe it will work out. But if we look here and we see Avalanche has struggled on the daily, we are way below. So really, really tough here. It's finding the 9 EMA. This is probably the most bearish out of all the charts that we've looked at, although we didn't look at Ethereum there. The 9 EMA at 23. So that would be an area to pick up. We go to the weekly. That may tell us a better story. Unfortunately, it doesn't. We've lost everything there on Avalanche, and really it needs saving. It needs massive saving. If it's not considered or added to this, it could be really tough going for Avalanche, and I just would fear that could it's already, in my opinion, into its own bear market at the moment, and it could just get worse there. It really does need a bailout here of epic proportions on that. Okay, so that's the interesting thing, because if you do look at a lot of tokens and look at their pairing against Bitcoin, you can say, well, let's look at, for example, Solana Bitcoin. And, Bitcoin has been stronger probably since it peaked over here, whatever date that was, over in March of 2024. And so Bitcoin has outperformed. And so strategic reserve should have the strongest assets only, in my opinion. I'm not agreeable necessarily that these other ones have come in, but as a lot of comments, a lot of people have said, it's like just anything in there to get crypto pumping. And it's hard to argue with that kind outlook on it, that people are just desperate for any kind of pump, for any kind of good news. From that short-term perspective, yes, it's got the crypto market talking and pumping. It's brought interest in, but also I think there are some mixed feelings about what should have been added to the stockpile and what shouldn't have been, and maybe what could end up being added. Again, I'd like to know your thoughts. Do you think it should be Bitcoin only? And number two, obviously now we know it's not Bitcoin only. What assets do you think should be added to this reserve? And are any of those 4 assets that you think should be taken out? I want to know your thoughts in the comment. And until the next episode, or until I see you in the Discord, happy trading.